In the heart of Chobe National Park, Botswana, where the wide savannah melts into the green edge of the jungle, life moved peacefully that morning. A troop of gorillas slowly wandered out of the forest into the open grassland, something they rarely did. Among them was a tiny gorilla cub, curious eyes wide open, stepping into the sunlit savannah for the very first time. The air smelled different, the ground felt strange under his little feet. He clung close to his mother, unaware that danger watched from the tall yellow grass. High above, hidden eyes had already chosen him. Far away, a leopard's shadow moved, silent, carrying a pain no one else could see. From the tall golden grass, a thin and scarred leopard crouched low, its ribs visible with every slow breath. This was no ordinary hunter, its eyes carried an old grief. For days it had roamed Chobe National Park like a ghost, searching for something to fill the hollow left by its own lost cub. And then, today, it saw him, a tiny gorilla cub, wandering a few steps away from his mother. Those innocent eyes, those tiny trembling hands, something inside the leopard cracked. It moved without sound, muscles tight, heart pounding, not with hunger, but with a strange purpose no one could understand. Every step was careful, waiting for the moment when the cub would stray just far enough. In a heartbeat, the silence of the savannah shattered. The thin leopard exploded from the tall grass like a shadow, muscles stretching with desperate speed. Before the mother gorilla could even blink, powerful jaws closed gently, yet firmly, around the tiny cub's neck. It was not a killing bite. It was a taking. The gorilla troop roared in panic. Branches shook as adults pounded their chests, surging forward, but the leopard was already turning, leaping away with the cub dangling in its mouth. Dust filled the air. The mother's scream echoed across Chobe, raw and wild, while the spotted ghost vanished into the grass with her stolen child. The air turned electric. With a roar that shook the ground, the adult gorillas launched forward, pounding their fists into the earth as they chased. But the leopard, driven by something deeper than hunger, darted between thorny acacia trees, weaving through narrow paths where the larger gorillas could not follow. Tall golden grass swallowed its spotted body like a ghost disappearing into smoke. Every few steps, the cub let out a tiny squeal, pulling a cry from its desperate mother. Her voice, raw, broken, endless, rose above the wind, echoing over miles of Chobe National Park. Other animals froze, ears twitching, sensing tragedy unraveling. But the leopard did not stop. It carried its choice into the unknown. Far from the chaos, in a dense thicket where sunlight barely touched the ground, the leopard finally stopped. Breathing hard, it lowered the trembling gorilla cub onto a patch of dry leaves. The cub whimpered, expecting claws, but none came. Instead, the leopard slowly curled its thin body around the infant, shielding it from the cold evening wind. Its rough tongue brushed mud from the cub's tiny hands, the same way a mother would. The cub's frightened eyes blinked, confused. For the first time since the chase began, silence fell. And in that silence, something unexpected started to grow, between predator and prey. As the leopard guarded the tiny cub, her eyes drifted shut, and memories clawed their way back. Only weeks ago, heavy rains had turned the riverbanks of Botswana's Chobe Park into a nightmare. Her own newborn cub had been swept away by raging water, her cries drowned by the flood. Since that day, she had wandered thin and hollow, a mother with nothing left to protect. But today, in those panicked cries of a gorilla baby, she had heard an echo of her own loss. Her jaws had not closed to kill. They had closed to hold. In that moment, she decided, this helpless creature would not be abandoned like hers was. Through the long, sweltering afternoon, the cub trembled in the leopard's shadow. Hyenas circled, drawn by the smell of fear, their eyes glinting with hunger. With a snarl that came from deep within her chest, the leopard lunged, scattering them. Vultures spiraled overhead, waiting, but she never moved from the cub's side. Every sound of the grass made her ears twitch, every shadow was an enemy. Far away, Rangers who had heard the chaos in the savannah began following broken branches and paw marks. The leopard's stolen world had just become a rescue mission. At the edge of a clearing, the rangers finally catch sight of the strange pair. The gorilla cub lies curled against the leopard's spotted chest, both exhausted. Kofi raises a hand, signaling silence. No gunfire. No shouting. Just slow, careful steps. They form a loose circle, leaving the leopard a way out. A soft hiss of air, thwip, and the tranquilizer dart sinks into her flank. She jerks, tries to shield the cub with her body, then slowly collapses. Two rangers rush in, lifting the cub safely into their arms. This moment is not a battle. It is a rescue. When the rangers gently lift the cub from the unconscious leopard, a wave of disappointment passes over her drowsy eyes. In that little gorilla, she had seen her own lost baby. The cub is rushed to the wildlife care center. For 2 long days, vets work to heal small wounds and treat the infection caused by the leopard's grip. Slowly, the little one regains strength. Finally, Kofi drives back to the same savannah where the family waits. The moment the baby is released, its mother runs forward, pulling it into a fierce embrace. Far away, the leopard awakens in a protected reserve, a new life, far from danger, but with an empty heart. As the sun dips over Botswana's endless savannah, the gorilla family settles together again. From a distance, the rangers watch silently, their mission complete. The cub, safe, breathing, alive, presses close to its mother. Somewhere far away, in a quiet reserve, the leopard stands under a tree. Her body is safe, but her heart still carries the weight of love and loss. What she did was never about hunger. It was about a bond that even nature cannot explain. In this wild land, sometimes survival creates the strangest connections. If this story touched your heart, like, share, and subscribe to Animal Survival Stories, where true tales of the wild come alive.